Oh, hi Noah. Thank you for joining this session today. My name's Tayo.
Hi, Tayo.
Hi,
How are
how are you
you?
going? Yeah, I'm well, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah,
All
never
right.
been better. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, amazing. Quite impressed with what you've
Mhm.
done with your career and had some time to take a look at your resume, which, quite really excited. I'll give you an opportunity to ask us questions post the session, but really today is going to be just myself and you in this session. If you do make it through to the next stage, there's going to be another session with the CTO, okay? So basically, what I'm really looking for today is going to be half an hour. Um, I guess at the end of the day, I'll give you an opportunity to ask me any questions. Or did you have any questions for me before we delve into the session today?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I think I lost you for a second there. So what I said was, did you have any question for me before we delve right into the interview?
Thank you. No question for now.
Right, great. So you have no questions at the moment. Oh, good. Let's delve right into it, Noah. Okay, so looking at your,
Um, do you like working? Do you like working from home?
do I like working from home?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends. I'm quite comfortable going to the office or, if I have to work from home. I do work from home sometimes, but it doesn't bother me. I do either. It just depends on
Mm,
what's required. Okay. All right,
eh,
great. So let's delve right into the interview.
yeah.
Great.
Because I can see your beautiful background there, so I'm wondering, like,
Oh,
yeah.
thank you. Yeah, it's actually, yeah, so I like to make my background really nice and fun. I probably should blow it, but that's fine. All right, Noah, let's get into the interview. So basically, can you tell me what really motivated you to, apply for this position? And if you could run me through your experience in the last 5 years, that'd be really amazing.
Yeah, sure. Actually, what motivated me? I actually
Yeah.
love your company because when I
Okay.
saw the salary, advertised for this show, um, I was really excited.
Okay.
There's a lot of things I've been struggling with when I came to this country. So
Okay.
many people told me that I can't get a job like
Yeah.
this. And
Wait.
today, like I just want to show myself that yeah, I'll be able to get this business analyst role and
Okay.
change my life.
Okay.
I have family, I have a new family,
Oh,
and yeah,
okay.
I think that I can add value, but yeah, it's really about how I can better myself and my
Mm,
family,
okay.
and yeah, that was the main focus for me to apply to this role.
Mm. Okay,
Mm.
well, congratulations, for your new family. But no, what I was looking for is more around what's, something that is really related to your experience and how, what value do you think you can bring into this organization? Could you tell me a little bit about your experience in
Yeah.
the last 5 years? Perhaps that would provide some more,
Yeah,
clarity to me. Yep.
but I've actually documented that in my resume. Did you look at my resume?
Yeah, 100%.
So
I didn't got
you want me to repeat what is in my resume?
If you could, yes, just, I just want to know what really interested you to apply for this position.
Oh, yeah. I thought we should be both prepared for this interview. So I actually didn't know that, I need to repeat what is in my resume. Did you
Well,
read it?
but I did read your resume. I thought it'd be really nice for you to verbally articulate, your experience. Perhaps we move on from that question. So, Noah, now, are you able to
Mm.
tell me a little bit about yourself in relation to the position that you've applied for, which is the role of a business analyst? And how do you think you'd be able to bring value to our company?
Okay. Yeah, like in my resume, I already documented, I
Okay.
have 5 years experience as a
Okay.
business analyst,
Yeah.
and I've worked in so many companies,
Mhm.
I've added value. And for me, I believe that everybody should sit tight
Mm.
and make sure that they work according to, what is expected.
Yeah.
I like flexibility, and I like things to be done in order. Right?
Okay.
My last role, like definitely, I had to report my boss because he was not doing his job well. He was
Mm,
just micromanaging me, giving me so many reports to do,
mm.
and it was impacting on my happiness and
Oh wow.
work-life balance. So yeah. So are you the one I'll be reporting to? What do you do?
Yes, so like I previously mentioned, and thank you for sharing that. Like I previously mentioned in my introduction, so I work as a program, manager for the brand and retail program. So yes, you won't report to me directly. You'll be reporting to the senior leader for business analysis. But thank you for sharing that. So Noah, perhaps let's get into some of the projects that you've worked on. I can see, in your resume that you've worked on quite lots of, different amazing initiatives. Could you tell me what stood out for you the
Oh,
most
so
on the
you've
last
read my
project that you worked
resume?
on? I have read your resume. So could you tell me about the last project that you've worked on?
Yes, yes, yes. My last project was very exciting,
Okay.
Um,
Yep.
I created a lot of documentation, I sent one mail to one stakeholder that was proving stubborn, and I warned him
Oh,
a lot that, we are serious about our project
yeah.
and we cannot tolerate, rubbish on the
Mm,
project.
okay.
So I wanted to understand what the project is about, and they were not taking me seriously.
Mm,
So, and that's why, sometimes I like to go to the office so that, when I'm in front of them and they're not answering, you know, I can warn them.
oh,
So, yeah. So sometimes some stakeholders need iron hand.
mm,
So sometimes I use iron hand, like if you're trying to discipline a child, you
mm,
know, sometimes if you just talk, they will not answer, they will not be able to answer you or do what you want. But if you use iron hand, yeah, they will
mm,
respond to that. So this
okay.
stakeholder, and no, I had to threaten them, tell them that they will be sacked, So
Okay.
and yeah, that was how I got them to do what I wanted. So
Okay.
yeah, I've been able to, you know, exert my power to get stakeholder buying.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a very interesting approach there, Noah. Thanks for sharing. So basically,
Mm.
what I was more looking for around is what was the project that you worked in like? What was the objective of the project? What were some of your key deliverables? What would you say was your main roles and responsibility on the last project that you worked on? Could you share a little bit of that to me, for me, in the next, 1 minute? Yep.
I can't share everything. I mean, if you
Okay.
if you read my resume, you see
Yeah.
some things that I listed.
Okay.
So I think that we should both not be lazy. Did you read
Okay.
the resume? I talk about what I achieved. Did you read it?
Well, I did read your resume. Like I said previously, this session is for me to get you to really articulate and give me something apart from what you have on your resume. Okay, so from what I've read, it
What else
doesn't provide
do I have?
it doesn't quite provide me enough details. So I really want you to articulate, in summary, what was the success metric like? What did you really work on? And at the end of the day, what would you say what would you say was the most proud moment of yours on the last project that you worked on?
Yeah, it's when I can discipline any stakeholder that is not
Mm,
answering, So my role is always to get them to do what we should. So by
okay,
force, sometimes I threaten them,
okay,
and to get the response.
right,
Yeah.
okay. All right,
So that's
perhaps.
how yeah.
All right, thank you. Perhaps we should delve a little bit more into how do you so when we talk about like you mentioned, there are some stakeholders that may require a bit more than the other typical stakeholders would require. I think that's something that we're very used to, especially in this sort of environment, right? Tell me, how do you deal with or how do you handle pesky or difficult stakeholders on a project or within an organization generally?
Yeah, thank you for that. I told you, like, it's about discipline. We need to
What do you mean?
discipline people.
What do you mean by
Uh
discipline? Because I think no, that
so
jumps at me a little bit more around. What do you mean by discipline? Could you enlighten me?
yeah, sure. It's discipline. You don't
Okay.
know what discipline is.
I guess I
Uh
just want more details around what you mean.
so how do you have children?
Well, yeah, at the moment, yes, I do have an 11-month-old. Yeah.
So do you discipline the child?
Well, I guess it's quite relative. I'm
What
trying
is
to. Could you?
relative about discipline? Should I give you a relative answer too?
Well, perhaps no. You could explain to me what you mean by discipline, or maybe we could focus on the question, which is really around how do you handle difficult stakeholders as a business analyst? Working with difficult stakeholders. How do you
Yeah,
manage that
I
situation?
already answered that. I told
Okay.
you that is by disciplining them. So, which means that, I mean, if you are not doing what you're supposed to do,
Yes.
you will be disciplined, right?
So when you said
Sometimes I
discipline,
can treat
do you
the
mean like you sort of like have a conversation with them, try and understand, from their point of view, or is that what you're sort of alluding to?
yeah, so we discipline adults, right?
Mm,
So we would make sure that people do what they need to do, or
okay,
else they pay for it.
okay, all right. Thank you, thanks, Noah. Well, one last question for me really would be, can you tell me what your approach is when it comes to gathering requirements and ensuring that you're really able to, explain your requirement to your technical stakeholders?
Gather requirement. So you mean how do I gather? Like if I want to gather requirement, or what do you
Okay.
mean by gather requirement?
All right, let me rephrase that question, Noah, to provide you with some clarity. So, can you tell me which of the elicitation techniques are you most adept with?
At least what?
Are you there, Noah? Can you hear me?
What? At least what?
Elicitation techniques.
What? Okay. Can you rephrase that question?
Sure, definitely, certainly not. So, as a business analyst working on a project, of course, you would, collect requirement, sort of like gather the information that is required, to be worked on whatever project that you're working on. So, my question to you is, how do you facilitate that process? What's your approach when it comes to collecting requirements, from your stakeholders?
Mm. So how do you collect it in your company? Is it by memo or how do you collect? I talk to them. What do you want?
Okay,
What do you want from the? What do you want? So
okay,
I would now write it down and
okay.
tell them.
Right. Okay.
Mm.
All right. That's fine. I do say that's my last question, but I have a follow-up question for this one. Let's talk about user stories as an example. Can you tell me what makes a good user story?
What make a what makes a what?
A good
What
user story. Is that something that you've written before in your experience, no?
use user story? What
Yep.
is user story? Can you explain?
Hmm. All right. So, when you gather your requirement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that something? Okay, let's talk about requirement. Let's leave user story for a second. Let's talk about requirement. What do you think makes
You
a good
don't know user
requirement?
story. So you don't know user story.
Well, I'm trying to simplify it for you, Noah, just so you could provide me the
Yeah,
information that I need.
but I'm saying like what is user story? You ask me, but you don't know too.
That's not the point of this, Noah. What I'm trying to
So
get you
what's
to
the
do.
point? Why you asking me question you don't know too?
Well, I want to get clarity from your perspective, what your understanding of a good user story is. But it does appear you don't have the answer, which is fine. Perhaps we could catch
So
at this.
do you
It's been
have the
really
answer? What
amazing.
is interview is a two-way thing,
I agree. Yep.
right? So what is a user story?
Well, this session is not for you to interview me. It's actually the other way around, for me to
But
really
you said
assess
you
if you're going
agree
to be
that
the best fit for the
interview,
job.
but you agree that interview is a two-way thing.
Absolutely. Yes.
So I'm supposed to interview if I want to work with you. So I'm
I
asking
agree.
so what is user story?
Yeah, so 100% you're correct, Noah, right? It's a two-way, interview is a two-way, it's a two-way street. However, in this case, we have asked you a question that is solely related to, the role that you've applied to. I'm not in a position to give you a response to that. If you wanted to learn more, perhaps you could do some research, to get yourself up to speed on that. But it's been really amazing having a chat with you, Noah, today. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes.
Okay.
What is a user story?
All right, so basically, like I said previously, I'm not going to respond to that. Have you got any questions and
Why?
to help you make a decision? Have you got questions to help you make a decision to see if our organization is actually the best fit for you?
Why?
What? Sorry.
Why are you not explaining user story? You ask me a question you don't have answer. That's the problem I have when I come for interview. People ask me
Okay.
question that they don't know. How do you want me to know when you don't know the question? Which answer do you want me to provide?
Okay.
Interview is supposed to be a serious session. I'm trying to be
Okay.
serious here.
Look, I acknowledge that you've probably been in interviews prior where you haven't had a good experience. But like I said, I'm not going to be providing any response to that question because it was for me to assess if you've got the capacity to actually write good user stories. Look, if you don't have any other questions for me, no, I'll let you
So
go.
do are
Okay.
you
I
are
think it's been
you
really
are you
amazing having
happy?
a conversation with you today.
So are you happy?
How do you mean? Do you mean about this interview, or what do you mean by my happy?
You did not even discuss salary.
Okay. Well, the our talent specialist will definitely give you a call to discuss that now. Post this session, okay?
So I need this job. When can I start?
Appreciate that. Well, I'll leave that. Like I said, this interview is in two parts. Okay, so we'll make a decision after today's session, and if you're successful, we proceed to the next round. Our talent specialist will definitely give you a call where they will also discuss, one of your concerns, which is what's the remuneration, what's the salary that comes with it. So please do not worry.
So what?
That information
Mm,
will be passed across to you.
mm. So are you happy with this interview?
Well, I think it's gone quite good. Yeah, to the
Uh,
best of your ability, yes, I would say.
okay. So when am I going to get the letter?
Now, so that's gonna be, you mean, are you referring to the offer letter?
Yes.
Yeah, so definitely, like I said, there's two rounds of this. If you're successful, we will definitely reach out to you to come for the second interview. In that session, we will then communicate to you what the start date would be, when you'd be able to start, and all of the other necessary information that you need to have. That you need to be aware of, really. Alrighty. Well, it's been really amazing having a chat with you today, Noah. I hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon.